We have Gabriel Bonfim, brother of Ismael, obviously, versus Nicolas Dalby. Gabriel Bonfim, 15-0, 5-0 his last five, coming off that submission win over Trevor Giles. Pretty impressive. He's fighting against Nicolas Dalby, 22-4-1, coming off of that unanimous decision victory over Muslim Salikov as a dog. I remember that because I had that ticket. 38 years old. Gabriel's going to be the larger fighter here, obviously. I think that the odds for this fight they've gotten pretty ballooned. I mean, minus 550 opened up. Gabriel got bet down to minus 300 instantly, and then now he's a minus 600 because people are just kind of shoving it. I think Gabriel has the whole package. A great strength of schedule. Um, you know, Trevin Giles, I actually think is pretty legit as a UFC fighter. He just finished him like it was nothing in round one. Um, he's had three round one submissions in his three UFC fights so far. Trey Waters, the guy that he finished in round one of the Dana White Contender Series. You just saw Trey Waters what he did to Josh Quinlan, so I think that's a good opponent to have on your record. I think that Gabriel Bonfim's subs are deadly. He really goes for those finishes. He's going to have a major advantage on the ground here. I think that he's also going to hold his own on the feet against Dalby. He's a sharp striker. He's much more patient than his brother Ismael, which is something that I really like. Once again, all finishes 15-0. He's probably going to try to finish Dalby here, but he's going to be patient doing so. Dalby is a karate style fighter, very light on his feet. I think he's okay grappling. He can mix up the grappling, but he's more of a striker than grappler, obviously. Relies on the volume to grind out decision win. He has good cardio, good pace. He is getting older though. If you just see his last like looking at Lucas Dalby's opponents, I mean, my God, like he's fought Muslim Salikov, Warley Alves, Claudio Silva, Tim Means, D Rod. D Rod just got cut. Tim Means like 40 something. Claudio Silva, pretty sure is 40 something. Warley Alves just got KO'd by Ikram. Muslim Salikov's pretty old. I mean, like he's fought all old guys, right? And before that, he also fought Alex Oliveira, the cowboy, who's not in the UFC anymore. I mean, like I'm pretty sure the UFC just found someone who's coming off a win, so they can be like, hey, Gabriel Bonfim, keeps on finishing these guys who's doing pretty good in the UFC. So the only way I could see this not working out for Gabriel is if the fight gets later on in the later rounds, right? Around like two, three, and if Gabriel doesn't finish him, they could get interesting because we really haven't seen Gabriel be tested in the later rounds yet. He's been finishing people in the round one a lot. I think that, yeah, we'll see what his cardio looks like. I suspect that he'll look just fine just because of how he fights. Very patient fighter. I think he has pretty good IQ. Pick here is Gabriel by sub. I think he's a parlay piece. I'll put him in the parlays. Gerard, what's your thoughts on this fight?
Gabriel Bonfim, he's a budding star in the UFC, and he's up against Nicolas Dalby, who's a vet who's been on a win streak against guys who are nowhere as dangerous as Gabriel Bonfim. So obviously, Bonfim here is the lock, but um, I think I'll probably take a stab at the over 1.5
Mm,
on this
yep.
fight because Dalby's only this guy's name is basically Decision Dalby. So yeah, he's always in decisions. He's pretty durable. And I think Dalby has pretty good IQ. I think he knows that this guy finishes people early, so he's well aware of that. And I think Bonfim, like you said, I think he won't rush things. I think he'll let the fight come to him. And it just so happened that all these fights have been finished pretty quickly. um, and mostly against opponents who aren't vets.
Yeah.
So he's up against a guy who's always going to decision and is a vet and is smart and is on a win streak. So I can see this going over 1.5, even in Brazil. So The lock here is Gabriel Bonfim, but I'll probably take a stab at the over here.
I really like that play actually. Kind of sad I didn't think of it myself. Over 1.5. That's pretty good. Plus 115 right now on Bet Online. Yeah, I love that play.